Many women assume that men first notice physical appearance or style when in reality, the very first thing that captures a man's attention is confidence and presence before anything else. It is not about being loud or commanding, but about the way a woman walks into a room, the energy she carries with her, and the sense that she is comfortable in her own skin. Confidence has a way of filling the space around someone, and it is magnetic. Even when nothing has been said, yet people are naturally drawn to those who radiate assurance and self-respect, and men are no different when a woman moves with certainty and stands tall. It communicates that she values herself, and that message is powerful. It creates curiosity and admiration long before a single word is exchanged. Confidence also comes through in the smallest behaviors that often go unnoticed by the person displaying them, but are picked up almost instantly by others. Something as subtle as not fidgeting during a conversation or not rushing to fill. Every silence can reveal calmness and self-possession. Men are keen observers of these moments, even if they do not consciously realize it. When someone is comfortable being themselves, they allow the interaction to breathe. They make eye contact naturally and listen without the need to perform or impress. This kind of grounded presence is rare and memorable. It leaves an imprint that lingers because it shows authenticity rather than effort. Another part of confidence that men notice is how a woman reacts to unexpected moments. Life is full of small disruptions, and the way someone handles them can say a lot about their mindset. Whether it is a sudden delay, a wrong order at a cafe, or a plan that falls through, gracefully adapting to the moment demonstrates emotional strength and maturity. Men pay attention to this because it reflects how someone might respond to bigger challenges in life. Remaining calm or even laughing things off shows resilience and ease, and this stands out more than perfection ever could because it shows depth and real character. Confidence does not mean arrogance or dismissing others. It is often reflected in how warmly a woman interacts with people around her and how she acknowledges others without losing her own center, being approachable, while maintaining personal boundaries. Strikes a balance that many men notice and respect. When someone can connect genuinely without trying too hard, it feels refreshing and trustworthy. It creates a sense of safety and admiration because it shows that this person knows her worth but also values the presence of others in her space. This balance is something that silently draws people closer. Even style choices can become part of confidence rather than a separate category. It is not about expensive clothes or perfect fashion, but about wearing what feels right and standing by it. When a woman chooses what makes her feel good and carries it with pride, it becomes part of her presence rather than just decoration. Men often notice the way someone wears their style, not just what they are wearing, because it communicates personality and inner comfort. Being at ease with your look says far more than trying to match a trend, and that self-assurance is compelling. Ultimately, the reason confidence is the very first thing men notice is because it sets the tone for everything else. It colors how words are heard, how actions are interpreted, and how someone is remembered. It is not loud. It is not forced. It is quiet strength that draws attention without demanding it. And the moment a man senses that ease, it makes him want to lean in closer, to understand the person behind it, to see what makes her so grounded and at peace with herself. Genuine laughter and natural expressions are some of the most captivating things men notice, and yet many women underestimate just how powerful they are. There is something magnetic about someone who allows their real emotions to shine through without filtering them or forcing them. When laughter comes from a place of true enjoyment, it feels alive and contagious. It instantly changes the energy of a room and creates a sense of connection that words alone cannot create. Men pay attention to that spark because it shows joy and authenticity, and it reminds them of what it feels like to be completely present in a moment. Natural expressions are equally noticeable and often leave a deeper impression than carefully posed smiles or rehearsed reactions. When someone shows what they are really feeling, whether that is excitement, surprise, curiosity, or even playfulness, it creates a level of honesty that is rare in a world full of performance. Men are drawn to those subtle shifts in facial expression, the way eyes light up, the way a face softens or brightens without effort, because those moments are real. They reveal personality without saying a word, and they make the interaction feel meaningful rather than scripted. Another thing men often notice is when laughter and expressions are shared freely with no worry about looking perfect. It is in those unpolished moments that someone's true character shines through. When someone laughs so hard they slightly snort or cover their mouth in surprise, it becomes unforgettable because it is human, and real men value that more than perfectly timed, polite laughter because it creates a sense of intimacy and comfort. It shows that the person is not trying to hide behind a mask, but is willing to just enjoy the moment as it is. Even small expressions during conversation are powerful indicators of who someone is. Things like raising eyebrows when genuinely interested, tilting the head while listening, or smiling softly when hearing something kind show attentiveness and emotional engagement. Men notice when these expressions are authentic because they make them feel heard and valued. There is a subtle but powerful connection created when someone responds naturally instead of forcing a reaction, and that connection can linger in someone's memory far longer than the words that were spoken. This is also why trying too hard to impress with forced expressions often has the opposite effect. Men can sense when laughter is used to fill space or when a smile feels unnatural, and instead of creating closeness, it can create distance. Genuine reactions have a rhythm to them. They come at the right time. They match the situation. They feel effortless, and men are instinctively drawn to that effortlessness because it feels safe and honest. They know they are seeing the real person, not a version built to please. In the end, what makes natural laughter and expressions so memorable is the way they break down barriers and invite others in. They make interactions feel less like performances and more like shared experiences, which is what people crave at the core. Men notice not because they are analyzing every move, but because those moments touch something familiar inside them. They remind them of joy, of warmth, of being free to feel whatever is real in that moment. And that is the kind of impression that stays. Subtle acts of kindness are one of the most powerful things men notice about women, and they often have no idea how deeply those small gestures resonate. Kindness has a quiet strength that speaks louder than any display of charm when someone treats others with respect. Even in moments when they have nothing to gain, it leaves a lasting impression. Men notice how a woman speaks to a waiter, how she reacts to someone asking for help, how she treats people when no one is watching. These small behaviors reveal character in a way that words never could, and they make her presence feel safe and warm. Kindness does not have to be grand or dramatic. It can be as simple as holding the door for someone, letting another person finish speaking without interruption, or offering a genuine compliment without expecting anything in return. These little moments show emotional intelligence and consideration. Men are often tuned into these details more than they let on, because it tells them what kind of person they are dealing with. They notice how someone can light up another person's day with a small gesture, and that makes her unforgettable because it shows she sees the world beyond herself. Another thing men notice is whether kindness is selective or consistent. Anyone can be kind to someone they admire, but true kindness is shown in how a woman treats people. She has no reason to impress, whether that is a stranger, an employee, or someone in a less powerful position. This kind of consistency is deeply respected because it communicates integrity. It shows that the kindness is genuine rather than a performance to look good, and that consistency builds trust, which is one of the most attractive qualities someone can display. Men also notice when kindness is extended to them in subtle ways. It might be remembering something small they mentioned earlier, offering encouragement when they are quiet, or giving space when it is clear they need to think. It might seem small to the woman, but these gestures are powerful signals that she is paying attention and values his feelings. It creates a sense of being seen and understood, which is something most people crave at a deep level. Those quiet moments of care are often remembered long after big conversations are forgotten. Acts of kindness also have the ability to change the energy in a situation when a room is tense or a group is feeling frustrated. A small, thoughtful action can shift everything, and men pick up on that ability to create calm where there was conflict. It shows emotional strength and leadership, even without saying a word. It can be something as simple as offering a reassuring smile or choosing to listen rather than argue in a heated moment. And that ability to bring peace becomes something that stands out in their mind. Ultimately, these subtle acts of kindness become part of the impression someone leaves behind. They create an emotional footprint that lingers because kindness is rare in a world that often rewards self-focus. Men notice because it feels refreshing to be around someone who sees others, who gives without keeping score, who creates warmth in small, invisible ways. It is these little things that make a person unforgettable because they reveal a heart that values more than just appearances or attention, and that kind of presence stays with them. Men are far more observant of body language than many women realize, and they often notice subtle nonverbal cues before they even process what is being said. Posture, eye contact, and small gestures all communicate volumes without a single word. When a woman carries herself with open, relaxed posture, it signals that she is approachable and self-assured. Standing tall without crossing arms too tightly or shrinking into herself creates an inviting energy that immediately draws attention. Men notice how someone moves through a space, whether they seem comfortable or hesitant, and it shapes their perception instantly, even before any real conversation begins. Eye contact is one of the strongest nonverbal signals, and it often lingers in a man's memory far longer than a clever line of dialogue. The way someone holds his gaze with calmness and ease communicates confidence, trustworthiness, and presence without anything needing to be said. Men notice whether eye contact is fleeting or steady, whether it feels warm or guarded, and they respond to that energy. It can make a moment feel intense or comforting or playful, all depending on how it is delivered. Those glances can say more about interest and emotion than words ever could. Gestures and small movements also have their own language, and men pick up on them without even thinking about it. The way someone tucks her hair behind her ear, how she leans in when engaged, or tilts her head when curious, all become signals that leave an impression. Even something as simple as the rhythm of nodding while listening communicates attentiveness and connection. These little details often create a stronger memory than big dramatic actions because they reveal what is happening internally. They show when someone is genuinely present versus when they are distracted or distant. Body language also plays a big role in whether someone feels comfortable sharing more about themselves. When a woman sits with openness or mirrors the other person's posture, it encourages trust and connection. Men notice that they feel more at ease when the person they are speaking to is relaxed and receptive. On the other hand, closed off or defensive body language can shut down a conversation before it even begins without anyone meaning for it to happen. The ability to create a safe, inviting space through posture and presence is powerful and memorable. Men also notice the difference between natural body language and forced body language. When movements seem overly rehearsed or exaggerated, it can come across as trying too hard and lose its effect. But when gestures are unpolished and genuine, they create charm and authenticity. It could be an unplanned laugh that makes shoulders shake or a playful shrug that says more than words. Those small, unfiltered moments become the ones that men replay later because they felt real and unscripted, and that is what makes them special. At the core, body language becomes the silent soundtrack of every interaction, and it is one of the first things men tune into before anything else. They may not always be able to explain why they felt drawn to someone, but it is often because her posture, her gestures, and her eye contact spoke a language that made them feel calm, intrigued, and engaged. Those signals can create interest, respect, and even admiration without a single word being spoken, which is why they are so memorable and why men notice them so quickly. Small habits and unique quirks are often the most surprising things men notice and remember because they feel personal and authentic. When a woman has a little ritual or a way of doing something that is distinctly her own, it becomes part of the image that stays in someone's mind. It could be the way she always hums softly while concentrating, or how she takes her coffee a very specific way, or even a habit of tapping her fingers when she is thinking. These details may seem ordinary to her, but to an observer, they make her stand out and feel real in a world where many people seem similar. Men often notice how someone reacts in everyday situations rather than big dramatic moments. It might be how she always thanks the driver when getting out of a ride, or how she takes a second to straighten things on the table before sitting down. Those seemingly tiny actions reveal personality and character without her ever trying to show them they are noticed, because they are consistent and unconscious, which makes them feel genuine, not curated. And it is those natural habits that tend to stay in a man's memory because they make her unique. Another thing men pay attention to is how a woman expresses excitement or interest about things that matter to her, whether she lights up talking about a favorite book or whether she gets animated describing her day. Those bursts of enthusiasm become memorable quirks because they reveal passion and authenticity. Men are drawn to that kind of genuine energy because it shows what brings someone joy and gives them a glimpse into her world. Those moments are often what men recall when they think about what made her different from everyone else they have met. Men also notice the way someone moves when she is relaxed versus when she is guarded. Small gestures like slipping off shoes and tucking her feet under herself while sitting, or absent-mindedly twirling a necklace while listening, communicate comfort and presence. Without saying anything, these little quirks make her seem approachable and relatable because they show she is being herself rather than performing or holding back. It is in these unpolished moments that her personality shines through in a way that feels effortless and magnetic. Even the way someone speaks can become one of these habits. Men pick up on certain phrases she uses regularly, the rhythm of her laugh, or the tone she uses when joking around. Those auditory details stick because they become familiar and comforting. Hearing a specific laugh or catchphrase can immediately bring someone to mind even when they are not around. And it is those subtle imprints that build a sense of connection over time, making her feel unforgettable without her even realizing it. These small quirks and habits often become the things men miss most when they are not around her. They are like a secret signature that makes her who she is, and they cannot be copied or faked because they are so naturally tied to her personality. Men notice them because they create a sense of intimacy and familiarity that feels special. They are not dramatic, grand gestures, but little pieces of her that show up consistently and quietly until they become part of what makes her stand out in someone's memory long after the moment has passed.